Aquarius 10, a popularity that proves ephemeral. Well, all popularity is ephemeral, actually. The seeking of fame and fortune is a common hobby for us all. A lot of people dedicate their whole lives to it. They want to become popular and famous and celebrated, and celebrities have managed to pass whatever tests they had to pass to get to the top of the pile. And we see them on television and in the movies, and we say, oh, did you see that person? Have you heard what they said? Like, yeah, wow, wow, wow. For a season or two, maybe even a few years, but the certainty is that it will end. I was there right at the beginning of the hysteria that gave the Beatles their reputation, and it was crazy, absolutely crazy. You have no way of understanding it. Hysteria was in the air, and the Beatles were everything that the world had ever wanted. And they only lasted 10 years. Pretty good run for a pop group. But it was forgotten when the Beatles came along that Elvis Presley was the man beforehand. And nowadays, no doubt, there's some other very famous person whose name I don't know because I'm too old. But I know that they won't be famous 20 years from now. And we have to try and remember that when we're in the limelight ourselves. Each of us enjoys a moment of popularity from time to time. Our birthday parties are given to us so that we can have our 15 minutes of fame now and again. And various pats on the head from our employers or society generally are given to us so that we can feel this sense of popularity, and it gets shared around a bit. And some people, when they get that frequently, especially the film stars and the musicians and so on, you see them getting more and more famous and losing more and more of their pleasant characteristics. They get more and more arrogant, typically, don't they? And they lose a sense of who they are. They've given up that for the price. That's the price they paid for their celebrity. And it's selling your soul to the devil, and that's what it means. And there are one or two examples I'd like to just mention of people who didn't do that. I find David Attenborough to be a man worthy of my respect and admiration even. A man who is phenomenally well known and admired and popular, well liked pretty much everywhere. And he's humble. How on earth did he manage to maintain his humility during that journey? And I think Eric Clapton did the same thing. He's the best at what he does, in a way. And yet, no sense comes from him of self-importance at all. You can see that in the way he responds to all the other musicians he works with. He's genuinely delighted at their success. He's genuinely interested in their story. He's a humble man, I believe. And it's a joy to behold. You have to be a little bit aware of humility, though, as a chosen behavior. One of my spiritual teachers wanted to teach humility, and yet had not yet reached that station in life himself. So it was a mixed blessing to see that quality enacted by him. He was acting humble, but I knew that inwardly he felt pretty damn pleased with himself that he'd reached that level of humility. It's a big trap. So we can't really try to become humble. And I think it's just an arising, a gift, something that's given to a person such as Attenborough, such as Eric Clapton, that people who've actually spent their lives becoming very, very good at something and not really getting lost in their mastery, just getting lost in the matter itself. So if you dedicate yourself fully to music, or fully to understanding the natural world, or whatever, fully to gardening, I find gardeners to be the most likely occupation to generate humility, gardening. The gardeners of the world seem a lot more humble than most. And most musicians, not on the level of celebrity, but on the level of just playing music for the joy of it. Most musicians are aware that they will never master music. It's just too big a subject. So if you choose something to try to master of that dimension, then you kind of get lost in that. And when you're lost in something else, you don't have time for self-importance. And then humility has got a chance to bubble up within you. I think I touched upon humility for one moment in my life. I can't remember the exact circumstances, but I just suddenly felt humble. I thought, oh, wow, lovely. It's probably the best feeling I ever had. And I hope it comes back one day, but not right now.